Hey, welcome everybody, or welcome back. It's the 1st of June, and that means it is the first video for the Creep on June 2026 project. Now, this is a challenge or a project that Tracie Fox from Tracie Fox Creative does each year. And it always has a little bit of a different theme, but it's always a little bit spooky, a little bit scary, a little bit, dark, right up my alley. Okay, and I participated for the first time last year. The basic concept is Tracie releases one of her beautiful kits, and then kind of leaves you to create with that kit in whatever way you want. She sometimes puts videos out to show you what she's doing. I think this year she's got a whole calendar of guest creators coming in, one each day, to show you what they're doing. So, as I say, last year was the first time I did this. Now, last year's kit was all based on the work of Edgar Allan Poe. And last year's kit had quite a lot of printable pages as well as elements. So last year I made a journal. This year the kit is a little bit different. And look, before I go any further, I will say all the links for Creep on June and for Tracie's channel and her Etsy shop, they'll all be below in the description. Right, this year's kit, when I bought it, was... Oh, and I will say, Tracie's kits are not expensive. Her artwork is amazing. So do go and have a look. She has a lot of free stuff as well in her Etsy store. So, do a bit of both. Always like to support those who offer free kits. Back on track. Right, where was I? Oh, yes. So this year's kit is a little bit different. Instead of having some printable journal pages, there was actually... 3 or 4 different options for boxes. So making boxes. And I've kind of spent a bit of time thinking about this. I've decided to do one box, I think, at the moment. I'm going to see how it goes. It might get too full. We'll see. But anyway, so we're going to do a box instead of a journal. Let me just show you a little bit of some of the images and things we have to work with. These are the tags and pockets. This year's theme is sort of grim fairy tale type theme. So we've got quite a lot of woodland, moon, dark nights, graveyards, things like that. There's some more pockets and kit bits and pieces there, envelopes. And as you will see, everything this year is on quite a small scale. And I'll show you the box in a minute to show you why I think that's been done. So we've got a couple of these. We've got a Grimwood Library Services card. We've got some other little backgrounds here. And you'll see what I mean about Tracie's artwork being gorgeous. So some mirrors, some sort of haunted houses, castles, graveyards, all those kind of things. And then we have these gorgeous creatures, and you will see I've started cutting some of these out already. There we go. So there's some of our creatures. We've got lots of little writing, tags, tickets, and some tombstones with some little quotes on as well. Now, the other thing that we do have, there's some more tags with little, oh, my paper clip. I'm trying to be organised and keep everything together. So we've got all these lovely tags with different little woodland creatures on. Some are a little bit spooky, some are, dressed up fairy tale type creatures. And we've got some other tags with scenes on as well. Now, the other thing that was part of the kit, and as I say, I've got no idea what Tracie's plans for this kit were, because we're very much left to interpret it in our own way. But the other thing that was with the kit was these little, and you can see I've already cut these out. These, and when I saw these pages and this little thing, I immediately thought ID cards. And there was also funnily enough, a page of little photos like these. And you'll see I've already cut these out and inked the edges as part of my prep work. And these fit in there. All right. So I've printed, and there was 15 of these. So I've printed 15 of these sheets. And there was also, these were double like this. I've also printed 15 of these, and these look like a lovely sort of old leather book cover to me. So I've printed 15 of those, and I've printed 15 of these. What my plan is to use those the mug shots that I showed you there and create a little ID card or wallet. Could be a passport even. That hadn't occurred to me until just now. Could be a passport or an ID card. But I'm going to create one for each of those little characters. Now there's 15 of them, and there's 30 days in June, so that gives me 2 days per character. I'm trying to fit all this in. So hopefully this is going to work. So I've got all those ready. Now, that's all very well, but what am I going to do with them if I'm not doing a journal? Well, I've actually made up one of the little boxes that was in Tracie's kit. As I say, we may need a second one depending on how big it gets, because what I'm going to do is I have made, and this is just kind of craft paper, but I've cut it in two and stuck it together to make this big concertina fold. And my idea is this last page will be stuck in here, and then we will pull out the concertina, and our little ID cards will fit as a flip out. And then for each of the characters in there, I'm going to have a page or two that tells their story. So I'm going to make up a story as we go along about all these different creatures, and hopefully it'll turn into a bit of a grim fairy tale. All right, so that's the overall concept that I've come up with. What I'm going to do today is and I'm actually not going to put this concertina into the box until it's finished. Now, there's two reasons for that. One is that this may get too fat, and as I say, I may need to split it and start a second box. The other is that it's going to be so much easier to work on if it's like this on my desk rather than trying to manipulate it in and out of the box. All right, so where I'm going to go today, I'm going to finish this box. I want to line the lid and I want to put a little closure on it. I'm going to do the first character. So this is going to be my title page, if you like, and I haven't quite finished planning that yet, so I'm not going to do that one today. But I'm going to open up and I'm going to do my first character in here and tell you all about him. All right, so let's do the box first, and then we will see how much time we've got, and we'll make a start on the first character today. All right, so as I say, today I'm going to start with finishing off the box, if that makes sense. So I've made this little box up from the kit. There was a top and bottom lining piece as well, and it just closes up like that. Now what I'm going to do on the side just here, I'm going to do a little closure with a circle and a brad. So keeping it very simple. Now I've got some, I'm trying to have a quick look through here. Oh, that one might work. That brad's quite a dark green, that might work. That one, actually in the light, that's got a bit of red in it. Let's have a look, what else have we got? I haven't got any plain black brads at the moment, and those are too big. Right, I think we'll stick with that one. So let's get this brad out. Now, I don't know whether I'm going to be posting every day or sort of every other day maybe at the moment for this challenge, or indeed every third day. We'll see how my time goes. What I will probably do is the same as I did last year. I'm just looking to see if that's the middle. That's near enough. I've just got this is a Cricut tool and it's very spiky, and I think it's a weeding tool, and this is a piece of foam mat which has been cut up. So I'm just putting a little hole through. I'm going to measure this one. 5 inches this box measures. Sorry, let's just move that way you can see it. About 5 inches, so we want to go about 2.5, which is about there. And if I'm putting a little brad in, I find it much easier just to do this than to you know, getting the crocodile and things out. Anyway, yes, so frequency I'm not sure just yet. What I will probably do is do a video every couple of days, and I will do some on camera and do some and show you what I've done off camera as well. It's not quite central, but that's okay, it doesn't matter. Right, so I'm not actually going to squish that brad too tight, because what I have, I've got this string which I would like to use as a closure, but it's quite thick. So before I do anything else, I'm just going to check that I can tie this underneath. So it is pushing that up a little bit, but I think that's going to be okay. So I'm just going to make that one tie there. If I do that again, it's going to be too prominent. I mean, as it is, yeah, no, I think it is a bit too. Right, let's see if I can get that undone now. Oh, goodness me. Should have tried that first, shouldn't I? Never mind, that's all right. We will find a thinner. I have some thinner jute like this. I don't really want to unravel this piece because it's quite attractive with the two colours in. So let's put that to the side. You never know, we might use that somewhere else. Let me just find my other jute. Okay, I found this one, which is actually a lighter colour, but much thinner. That's okay. So pop that under there. Left over, right and under, right over, left and under. There we go. Reef knot shouldn't come undone. Now I just want one end on this, so I'm going to trim that one off there. And what we're going to do, excuse me, come back from holiday with a bit of a froggy throat. Right, is to leave enough, I think we'll do wrap round twice. So we're going to leave enough of that jute to wrap around twice, like that. And then that can just tuck under, wind round your little closure. I use these closures a lot. If you've watched any of my videos, you've probably seen me doing them before. If not, they're really simple and effective. One of the things I do like to do, obviously on the inside you have the little back of the brad there, the split pin, and I like to stick something over that. Now my box, or my book, whatever you want to call it, is going to be in this orientation. So it's going to open like a book, like this, and the concertina pages are going to pull out, or the accordion pages are going to pull out. So I have this little Scary Tales ticket, which has come from this kit, and I've got a little bit of a greeny coloured tea bag here sitting on my desk. What else have I got? I've got my scrap box in front of me, which is where I put all my bits and pieces. Actually, that might work better. I'm thinking about something just underneath this, just for a little bit of something like that. Okay, let's find some glue, because what I'm going to do with this is to cover the black back. Gosh, black back. I'm going to cover the back of that split pin. So I'm literally just going to stick these bits on the back like that. And I think because it's going to be opened up and shut quite a lot, I might just put a little bit of stronger glue, because it's got to go over the split pin. Alright, so my aim for this project is to mainly use bits from the kit to stick to the kit, but I might be bringing in odd bits and pieces to complement it. I've actually pulled out, just moving that over a little bit. There we go. Now that covers the back of that split pin, and it stops it getting caught on anything. Alright, when it's dry I'll trim off those last little excess bits, but what that's going to do is when we open and close the box, it's going to stop this bit catching. Okay, now I've also, where have I put it? I've chosen this one, which is one of the images that came with the kit, and I'm going to line the inside of the lid there. And I thought this was quite nice, given that it was sort of grim fairy tales, and fairy tales for me are very much sort of old English woodland sort of creatures, you know, woodland creatures. And I'm wondering, I know that Tracie's based in England, and I'm wondering whether that's where some of her inspiration has come from for this. So this one's going to line the top there. Oh yeah, so as I was saying, I'm going to stick mainly to pieces from the kit. I've actually pulled out a couple of pieces I had left over from last year's kit, the Creep on June kit last year, that I hadn't actually used. And I found a couple of pieces that I hadn't used that actually sort of fit quite nicely and complement what we've already got. So let me show you those. So there's some pieces here, there's some pockets I had left over, and some tags and pieces like that. So those pieces that I've pulled out seem to sort of complement the kit from this year, and they might well make an appearance as well. I may pull in other bits and pieces, like I'm just about to. I've got another one of those green tea bags, which I'll just get rid of some of that. These are some, I drink herbal tea, and this is a tea I don't normally buy actually. I found it on special somewhere, and it's a really interesting blend, and I can't remember. It's got a very much an aniseedy. Am I going to cut that off, or am I going to leave it? Sorry, I'm working and talking at the same time. I might leave those raggedy ends. I am going to trim that edge off. It's got very much a sort of an unusual aniseedy flavour. I must look and see what's in it actually. It's got something in it that is really quite green, and the tea bags, if you dry them out, have this lovely beautiful green colour, which makes a nice change from brown ones. Right, oh excuse me. Okay, so that's going to go in there, and that's going to go on top. I think I'm going to leave those kind of raggedy torn edge look bits. We'll get that glued in. Now the other thing I have got are some little bits and pieces here. I've got a couple of odd bits of lace that were in my scrap box. I've got a little bit of sari silk, which is sort of similar colours to the box here, and I've got a little key and a jump ring. It was on there. There we go. I'm going to make a little dangle with those and somehow attach it to here, but I need to think a little bit more about that. Not so much about the dangle, but about how to attach it to the box. So I'm going to put those to one side for a minute. And I'm also going to put a little box to one side because I want to just make a start on the first ID card, if you like. So what I have is one of these little fold out ones, and as you'll see, I've put the leather cover on here. Whether it's an ID card or a passport, I'm not sure yet. I'm going to think on that idea. But here we have Mr. Fox. And Mr. Fox is the king of our little grim fairy tale world. And what we're going to do today is to create this ID card. And as I do that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story of Mr. Fox. Right, so let's create this first card. I think I'm going to use black ink, and on my I have got this little set of alphabet and numbers. They drive me nuts because they are so small and it's really hard to get them lined up on my acrylic block, but we're going to give it a go. So we've got number 01 on here. Given that this Fox guy is the king, he needs to be number 1. Is that going to come out the right way? Yes. Okay, so on this side, we're going to give him a number. Like that. There we go, number 01. Right, let's put those just there safely for a minute. I want to try and get something like a little postmark across across the corner of his picture here. Now I'm just looking at the stamps that I have. I think I might be able to use a bit of this one. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm going to try. Maybe just for that side bit there. So let's just try and get some ink on that bit. And what I'm going to do, dropped my cloth, is just wipe off around the edge on that stamp, just so I can try and only get the bit that I want. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't come out fully, because, you know, that's like a postmark type thing. Turn it around like that. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that's not too bad, is it? That'll be all right for our first one, I think. I might have to play with that and practice getting them on there. All right, now what else do we want? I have this little quote here on this stamp, and it says, "Where there is light, there is shadow." And for our character of Mr. Fox here, this is going to be really appropriate. Now, I am going to put his name in. At the moment, I'm debating whether to put that in by hand, I think, because I just don't have the stamps to be able to customise all the names. But we want this little quote on here for Mr. Fox. There we go. Where there is light, there is shadow. So let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Fox. So Mr. Fox, as I say, is the king. And he is the king of this beautiful woodland community. And he's a very lovely king on the surface. He's this most benevolent, kind king. He looks after all his subjects really well, takes care of everybody, treats his staff well. And as I say, to all intents and purposes, is this most amazing and caring king. However, there is a little bit of a sad side to the king. And I think we'll call him Reynard the king. And some time ago, Reynard was married, and he was married to the most beautiful Mrs. Fox. And they were very happy, and they reigned over this kingdom together. You know, absolute fairy tale, surprisingly enough. However, unfortunately, the Queen was murdered. We'll find out how later on in our story. But the Queen was murdered. And Reynard the king was beside himself with grief. This was the love of his life, the mother of his children, you know, all of this. But to all intents and purposes, he carried on. He's, you know, there was the appropriate grieving process, and then he carried on ruling the kingdom. But there was a darker side to all this. And whilst he appeared to be doing okay and getting on with his life, at night he not turns into someone else, but he disappears off out into the woods throughout his kingdom, searching. And he's searching for the person who murdered his beautiful wife. And Mr. King, Mr. Reynard, goes out in the dead of night, dressed as the Grim Reaper. And this is his disguise. He thinks that no one will see him if he goes out dressed like this. So not only does he leave his beautiful castle and go off through the woods, roaming his kingdom, looking and searching for the person who killed his beautiful wife, but he also haunts the graveyards or the graveyard where she's buried, desperately trying to regain some kind of contact with this beautiful woman who was the love of his life. So here he is, in his disguise, going off into the night. Oh. Here is the graveyard where the lovely wife is buried. Now, as King Reynard is travelling along at night, looking, constantly searching to get revenge for his wife's death, he carries with him two pictures of his beautiful dead wife. These two pictures that he carries represent very special memories and special times with his wife. Here she is, just after they got married, in front of the castle which became their new home. In all her beautiful, youthful glory. They just returned from their honeymoon when this photo was taken. So it obviously has very special memories for King Reynard. It was a happy time and a carefree time before the demands of running the kingdom, because he took over from his father when he married. And so before the demands of running the kingdom and the pressures of having children and all those things, before all those pressures kicked in, this was a carefree time. So it's a very beautiful memory. And the second photo he carries here. This second photo that he carries is of a beautiful holiday they had one winter in the mountains, and there you can see, look, the Queen's looking beautiful in all her winter finery. So there we go, guys, today's tale. is of King Reynard the Fox and his beautiful castle, along with his hidden life, mourning his beautiful wife and seeking revenge. Right, so tune in to the next episode to find out what happens next and some more of the characters in our little story. For now, I hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Ka kite anō.